Good evening, everybody. This is Samurai Dancer, and as promised, I will be doing a deck tech on my Yawg deck. Now, I like to call it Yawgy Yeet because, well, yeet boy yeet. It's gonna get there. Now, like any good angel of death, Yawg is of course residing in a coffin. What's in the coffin, you say? Why, it's Yawg and Yawg. Of course, the reason why I'm doing this deck tech is of course because this came in the mail today. This was done by Shivan Altered. She does an amazing job, in my opinion. Just absolutely fantastic. Let's get in there. As you can see, it's got some Phyrexian language that says, "All hail Yawgmoth, father of machines." Now, what father would be complete without his children? And Yawgmoth's children are very special. Of course, they would have to be. I divided my deck into some very interesting categories today. We're going to start with the first category, board wipe. Now, Yawgmoth can get away with a lot of things that other people cannot. Because, well, he has a lot of tools that other cards do not. For one thing, he carries his own removal in the form of his sack ability. And it's also a card advantage. So I find that I actually don't need a lot of removal in this deck normally. Nor do I need a lot of draw effects. What I really do need is a lot of mass, like a lot of uncounterable or unstoppable board wipe. So I went with Decree of Pain because I love the draw. I love the draw off every destroyed creature, but more importantly, I like that the cycle effect normally pairs very well with Yawgmoth's sack ability. More importantly, most people don't run Disallow in my playgroup, so I can get away with cycling. I also run Dead of Winter, because I'm also running Snowlands. 20 Snowlands to be exact. I run about 36 lands because I get mana screwed. Other people may not, but I do. I have to run either 36 or 37 lands, otherwise I will never draw one. Don't know why. Of course, we're running Diabolic Edict, the tutor that requires you to sacrifice, because, well, we really want to be sacrificing stuff. We've got our Demonic Tutor, our Final Parting, our tutor in a tomb. This is very useful for us. Buried Alive, yet again, a tutor for us. Our Imperial Seal, this may not be the best tutor for us, but I put it in every deck that I have, because it's my boy. Then we've got Vampiric Tutor, and then we've got Villas, Broker of Blood. He's just really good because he turns his sack ability into a +2 basically. Then we're running Extractor Demon because, believe it or not, this is card advantage for us. Milling ourselves is just as good as milling our opponents. In fact, it's better most of the time. Case in point, Solemn Simulacrum is just the good one. I went with the one that looks sort of like it's from Phyrexia because, well, I mean, why wouldn't I? Skull Clamp, just good value in the deck. Altar of Dementia, again, milling ourselves is just as important as milling our opponent. And sometimes milling our opponent does become an alternate win condition when you get down to it. Then we're going to go into Citadel Bullets, just the best black card in recent creation. just you have to run it. Argyle's Bloodfast. Um, this is, of course, the special one, because for some reason I can't seem to buy a foil one that isn't this. I don't know how, but that's just what keeps on happening. Liliana of the Dark Realms. This card has ultied so many times in Yawg. That proliferate ability is so strong with her. Just and the fact that you can add a swamp to hand to discard it to that. Oh man, this is one of the cards that when my play group sees me play it, they just kill it. She doesn't last a turn anymore. Then we've got Liliana, Dreadhorde General, just good removal, good advantage. Creates tokens for us, which is going to be key to some of our strategies later. Creates zombie tokens, which is going to be very key to our strategy. And then her ulti doesn't really come up very often. Now, this might give away the strat. We, of course, have one magnificent Liliana, untouchable by death. Now, she is just very strong for us. Just very, very strong. She's going to get us our advantage normally. Now, I don't want to give away too much, but yeah, that cast from grave for zombies, that's going to be key later. And then we've got Blood Artist, because we need an aristocrat effect. We've got Zulaport Cutthroat, again, need an aristocrat effect. I don't run the Vindictive Vampire because it's a 4-drop, and I really need these to be at 2. I'm not ever really hurting for mana at the most part, but still need my aristocrat effects to be at 2. And then, of course, we've got Gravecrawler. So, yeah, I guess you can see where this is going. Gravecrawler is in the deck for an infinite combo. We've got Grave Titan, also in there for an infinite combo. Just good value. We've got Sidisi, there to search out the infinite combo. We've got Bantu, there to draw the infinite combo. We've got Grey Merchant, there to win with the infinite combo. And then we've got the infinite combo. So, Mikaeus plus Grave Titan equals draw until you can't pay the life. Period. Fleshback Marauder is just good value. It's a zombie. That's all it's in there for. Bone Miser is my favorite card from the new Commander set. I like Crick. He's a good boy. But Bone Miser, this card is just showing up such a strong force in my decks. I run Nether Trader. So that way, every time I sack a creature, I can just pay 1 black and get another creature. With Yawg, that means I basically draw 2 and put 2 -1/-1 counters. Bloodghast. This card is so good in this deck. Just so good. This card is the reason why I run certain other cards. Reassembling Skeleton, that's a no-brainer. That's in every Yawg deck, or should be. Mogus's Marauder. This is a game winner. This right here, if you're running Mass Revival, you should probably be running one of these. He has Devotion, which is great, to black. Give X target creatures haste and menace. I believe it's either haste or intimidate. It's either menace or intimidate. Give them intimidate and haste, where X is equal to your devotion. So this is normally GG. This has allowed me to swing out for oodles of game. And Torgar. Why aren't more people running this guy? This guy is so good. Okay, so say your opponent gets infinite life. No, you have 20. Say you go down to 5 because you're sacking. Nope, I'm at 20. Say I have Mikaeus in Yawgmoth. Just drawing into this guy is normally enough. I draw into him, I play him, now I don't even have to worry about going down. I can keep going until I get the aristocrat effect. Ashnod's Altar, there for some good, solid, wholesome, clean, fun mana ramp. Phyrexian Altar, that's just degeneracy. That's there for the Gravecrawler. And you should all know that combo by now, you know. Gravecrawler, Phyrexian, Altar, any zombie, Infinite Storm, Infinite Death Triggers. Then we've got Lake of the Dead. Now, I actually spaced out my mana, my lands, based on what they do. Lake of the Dead is it's probably one of my biggest signs that I'm about to go off. If I play Lake of the Dead, you should be expecting something to go down. I'm either going to try to win the game, or I'm going to try to draw massive amounts of cards this turn. Comes in, I have to sacrifice a swamp. Doesn't say untap, so I tap that swamp, add a black mana, sack it, and then I can tap another swamp to add another black mana, and then sack that to add 4 mana. So 3 lands, 6 mana. It's incredible value. We've got Cabal Stronghold. This is mostly a late game card. This is what happens when people kind of catch on to this strategy and I have to kind of grind it out. This ends up coming down and putting in some mild work. Cabal Coffers is, of course, MVP. This is, of course, the F&M one. This used to be like $13. It is not anymore. And it's a shame because I never got around to buying 3rd or 4th one. And my 2nd one I gave to a friend, and damn it. Then we've got the Tomb. Hopefully Yawgmoth won't stay there long. Temple of the False Gods. Just good solid card. Phyrexian Tower. Just goes great with our strategy. Nykthos, because we will get high devotion. Jet Medallion, because we need to reduce cost. Badly. Soul Ring, because Soul Ring. Wayfarer's Bauble, just the most solid ramp you can have in a non-green deck for the most part. Gauntlet and Cage Sun. I don't run extra planner lens because in my playgroup we all run removal for artifacts, and I was just losing a land every time I played it. Cryptghast, because yeah, mana's great. Scourge Familiar, because I want to discard my hand. I really do. It's just overall just a really great card. If you're not running in your commander deck and you're running black, you really need to think about it, because I'm pretty sure if you're running black, you have some sort of revive spell. Crick, the son of Yawgmoth. Now, I've already talked with Shivan Alter, and we're talking about sometime in maybe January or February, I'm going to get him altered, but I won't say how. Westvale Abbey, because I will go very low on life some games because someone will take out the Torgar or an Aristocrat, and I can actually generate a lot of tokens, and I need to gain back life. So flipping this guy over and flipping this over into the boy. Ormondal is pretty key. Though mostly he just eats an exile spell. Army of the Damned. I put this in at Magic Fest Dallas because I was just bored, and I was trying to put together this deck, and this card has won every game it has showed up in. This card has come down the majority of the games. This card is freaking amazing in Yawg. I mean, it's an 8-drop spell, so it's going to be good, but like I didn't think it would consistently come out as soon as it does and resolve as often as it does. And it's just amazing in Yawg. It's basically draw 13 cards. Or 26 cards sometimes. It's just really good. Bitter Blossom. Because I need tokens. I need creatures on board at all times. And losing an additional life for a 1/1 with flying, that isn't so bad. Zombie Infestation. Wonderful, wonderful card. I play this out, and I mean, it's just great for cycling through my deck. Dread Horde Invasion, because this is surprisingly very easy to get to 6, especially with Yawg. So a lot of times I actually don't end up sacking the token. A lot of times I'll end up proliferating it to get to that 6 and gain back 6 life. And then when they get rid of the token, because 6 damage and me gaining 6 life every time is kind of annoying, that's when I sack it to Yawg. Abhorrent Overlord. This is such a good card. Use this guy, and boom! My playgroup normally will just skip to seeing him. Uh, Pitiless Plunderer. Okay, the best part about this guy is not the fact that he makes treasures on creatures' death. It's because he doesn't say non-token death. Like, that's huge. That's like, that is made the difference, man. Especially when you combine him with Pawn of Ulamog. So here's a little fun infinite combo if you have a sack outlet, like, you know, Yawgy is. Okay, so you go Nether Trader, Pawn of Ulamog, and Pitiless Plunderer, and you will 100% get infinite. Because you sacrifice the Nether Trader, you generate a Scion. You sacrifice the Scion, you generate a treasure. All you need is 1 black mana, because then after that you have a treasure. And you can just keep doing that over and over. But you already have the black mana, because when you sack to create the Scion, you from the Nether Trader's death, you also created a treasure. So don't even need the mana open. That just gets it done. Tortured Existence, because I need to decide what's in my graveyard sometimes. I mean, I probably could put in Phyrexian Reclamation, but I really don't want to, because I pay so much life already in this deck that paying 2 life and 2 mana is a bit steep for me, whereas discarding a creature is pretty easy. Now this is where we get into probably the mean part of the deck. So Infernal Darkness. Cumulative upkeep, 1 black and 1 life, costs 2 black, 2 colorless. This ruins people. So, unlike its brethren, this actually makes your mana black, but it also makes all of it black. It doesn't just reduce it to 1 black mana. It goes, oh, I have Temple of False Gods. I tap it. Well, guess what? You have 2 black mana. So normally this will lock out a game by itself pretty solidly. All I need is just a couple of turns of this on the field, and I can just get ahead so hard. Most of the time, my opponents will just scoop to this if they're not running black. But a lot of my friends don't run just mono black. In fact, none of them do, because that's me. I run mono black. I'm famous for it in my playgroup. I have so many mono black decks, and I will keep making mono black decks. In fact, I think I might make a deck tech a week of my mono black builds, because guess what? I love mono black. And you can tell that I love mono black because of the next card, Contamination. This one is a fucking game ender. This is the reason why Bitter Blossom, Dreadhorde Invasion, Zombie Infestation, and so many other token generators are actually in the deck. Because, yes, they're good with Yawgmoth, but there's other cards that are good with Yawgmoth. But I need to guarantee that there's a token every turn. Because as long as I can normally lock out the game. A lot of times, unless they're running Force of Vigor, it's very hard for a non-black deck to get over this. And even then, most black decks won't actually be able to remove this because, you know, black doesn't really have any enchantment removal. Well, I mean, I guess we've got that. We've got that enchantment removal that they added in Commander 19, where sacrifice a creature or sacrifice an enchantment. Gee, thanks. Thanks, Wizards. That was exactly what we wanted. Reanimate. It's just a good boy. Fun combo with this is to reanimate Villas, because you will draw the 8 cards from the 8 life you'll lose, because he sees it. So, boom, 1 mana, draw 8. Haha, this is my All Hallows Eve. I was so happy to pick this up. This was on my list of pickups for Mono Black. I still have to pick up a Chains, and an Abyss, and a Nether Void. And once I get those, then it's Bazaar of Baghdad, and we've got everything we could ever want for Mono Black. But All Hallows Eve, probably a lot of people don't know how this works. It's a sorcery. You play it. By the way, this says Incantación. My favorite thing is a lot of people don't know how this card works, so of course the first thing they ask is, can I read it? Sure, you can read it. Of course, it's in Italian, so good luck with that one. You play it. If it resolves, it gets exiled with 2 scream counters on it. At the beginning of each upkeep, you remove a scream counter. When the final scream counter is removed, it's Halloween! And all creatures that were dead, what was dead must now arise. And all creatures in the graveyard return to the battlefield. It's beautiful. I have a little personal rule. I play this whenever I can play it. I don't care if I have no cards in the grave. I have Yawgmoth. Yawgmoth will discard a card eventually. I've actually gotten a lot of people with that. They'll go, okay, you don't have any creatures in grave, right? Yeah, okay, it's fine. Okay, my turn. I'm going to play Yawgmoth. Okay, it's fine. Alright, upkeep. It's the final upkeep, because it's already been one upkeep. Final upkeep. Trigger on the stack. It removes the final scream counter triggers on the stack. I'm going to discard a card with Yawgmoth, and because I normally have 4 black mana at that point, I'll discard 2 cards. Guess what I'm discarding? That's right, creatures. And now they're back from the grave. Ooh. Dread Return is just good value. This is why I don't really mind milling myself, because I have revive spells that work in graves. It's beautiful. We've got Living Death. This is removal and card advantage. Note, if you see someone play Living Death, just counter it. Just always. There's no one who has ever played a fair Living Death. Command the Dreadhorde, just amazing. This is right behind Bolas's Citadel, in my opinion. Just so good. The fact that I can revive Planeswalkers has won me so many games. Stealing their Teferi or stealing their Jace. Bringing back a Liliana. Necromancy, one of the best revive spells of all time. Has the ability to play it as an instant. If you do, at the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice the creature. You get to... Fun fact, this is not an aura. When Necromancy enters the battlefield, not as, when you target a creature. And then when Necromancy leaves the battlefield, that creature goes away. So if you're playing Yarok, you do get 2 triggers of Necromancy. You get 2 creatures when this comes into play. We've got Dance of the Dead. This one, it brings back a creature. It gives it +1/+1. And makes it come to play tapped. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 1 colorless, 1 black to untap that creature. It is an enchantment aura. It's an enchant dead creature. Animate Dead. Bring back a creature from the grave. It gets -1/-0. Oh no. This is the card I don't understand why people don't run. This has gotten me so many games. This is just good value. This is just good everything. This is Corpse Dance. It's an instant. It costs 3 black and a colorless and 2 colorless. It has buyback 2. That means it comes back. You put the top creature card from your graveyard into play. That creature is unaffected by summoning sickness. Remove that creature from the game at the beginning of the end step. So you can do this during your opponent's end step, and you will keep that creature until your end step. This is great value. This has single-handedly won games. This has become my friend's favorite card to see me play, because while they hate it, they think it's just so amazing how great it is. I have converted all my friends into running this. One of the most mediocre plays that I did was I had a sack outlet. I believe I had either a Phyrexian or an Ashnod's Altar. No, I had an Altar of Dementia, and I had a Solemn Simulacrum with 5 mana. I didn't have much else. So every turn, at the end of my opponent's turn, I was bringing back Solemn Simulacrum to add a land from my deck onto the battlefield, and then sacking it to mill my opponent for 2 cards, and to draw a card. It's just amazing. It is so good. You should run this. Also, you should know, this is on the reserve list. It is a rare. Pick it up while you can. This is how Bloodghast gets value. We've got Myriad Landscape, Marsh Flats, Prismatic Vista, Bloodstained Mire, Verdant Catacombs, Polluted Delta. And then we've got some utility lands. We've got Blast Zone, which is just great with Yawg because you can always pump it up a little bit faster than you could normally do. So we got Reliquary Tower, and then after that it's just 20 snow-covered swamps. I'm looking to probably put in a Field of the Dead. When I do, I'll probably take out about 5 of these to get some regular swamps in there, just so I'll have different names. So that way I can start generating zombies off lands. But I'm still not sure about that one, because it actually hasn't played out very well online, but might just be Moto. And that, my friends, is how the Yawgy yeets. Thank you. This was Samurai Dancer. Please like, share, and comment. Have a great day, and thank you to Marin. I enjoy your videos. I really do. It is very much a fun stream to watch.